Well, Reliance, that is the key stock that one needs to focus on. Just look at the kind of spurt that you're seeing on Reliance Industries, not the Nifty. Reliance Industries is what I'm talking about, a 5% spurt. We should bring up the tick-by-tick chart on the stock because it doesn't seem like this team is going to let go anytime soon. The stock, of course, is seeing its biggest up move since February 22nd, and this has been a key performer. A very late surge in the stock. It's now at a 9-year high and continues to scale up its peak, and that's, I think, the one which is really giving a leg up to the Nifty as well, which is beginning to pick up quite smartly. 1332 is where the stock is currently in trade. So let's bring on board our chartist, and Ruchit Jain from Angel Broking joins in for his view on the markets right now, as does Rahul Randeria from IFCI Financial Services. Ruchit, hi, afternoon. Come to you first. Firstly, a take on Reliance Industries. This big spot that you're seeing on the charts right now, does it seem like it's sustainable? Could it pilfer through to Monday as well?
Yeah, hi, good afternoon. Well, probably we have seen, everyone of us know that this stock had given a breakout of a 8-year consolidation phase during last month. Probably after this stupendous up move, we saw some sort of consolidation again, and within this consolidation, the stock had to good support around 20 EM on the daily charts, which also coincided with the 200 SMA on the daily on the hourly chart. So usually, whenever the stocks are in a trended up move, and you see some kind of moving averages acting as a good support, that is a positive sign, and that's why I think the stock has again rebounded higher. So this is just a sign of continuation of the broader degree uptrend, and the kind of the volumes that the stock has attracted during every up moves in the last 1 month. So this is indication that this uptrend is definitely going to sustain, and the stock the stock should head higher towards 1380 first, which was its previous high during the month of 2007, and definitely it should even cross those resistances and go further higher. So one should definitely maintain positive biasness on Reliance as far as from current levels it is concerned.
Okay, let's also get in Rahul Randeria's views on the markets. And Rahul, can't ignore the move that Reliance Industries is making. So comment on the stock and what you're seeing by way of the chart movement. And it's at the highest level since June 2008 at 1329. That's a real smart mover. What's the view?
Good afternoon, Avan. Looking at the spike in the Reliance which we have seen in last 2 months, the prices in the charts are slightly overstretched. At this point of time, investment would not be recommended because the risk reward ratio is not favorable. But yes, definitely for a trading perspective, the momentum is positive. We feel that any cool off in Reliance should be used to enter at the lower levels around say 1300, 1310, and we could see the levels of 1370 to 1390 in the coming days. Yes, definitely the momentum is strong. So any dips should be used as a buying opportunity for trading perspective.
Ruchit, aside of Reliance Industries, what are the other stocks that you'd like to recommend?
Firstly, as far as sectoral overview is concerned, I would like to first focus on the sector that is going to outperform. Banking is one of the sectors which we believe that from here on would show good outperformance. Specifically, some of the PSU banks as well as mid cap, large cap private sector banks have attracted very good volumes in last couple of weeks. So this is a sign that the Bank Nifty and the constituents of the Bank Nifty and the PSU banking index is likely to show good outperformance in the next up move during the markets. One of the stock within the banking space that we are recommending is a Federal Bank. Well, this stock is forming high top high bottom structure since last 4 to 6 months now, and this is one of the outperformer in the recent past within the banking space itself. We are expecting this up move to continue. Even at current levels, the risk reward is quite favorable for another 7 to 8% of up move. So short term traders can go long on Federal Bank with stop loss below 88 rupees, expecting target around 99 in about 2 to 3 weeks of time frame. And my second pick is a buy call in SRF. This stock too has been consolidating in a narrow range since last few trading sessions, but if you observe the broader degree charts, then the stock is trading in a triangle, and the consolidation is going on near the support end of that pattern. This also coincides with the 200 SMA on the daily charts. So prices are consolidating near the support. We are expecting resumption of the broader degree uptrend very soon in this stock. So one can go long on SRF, keeping stop loss below 1570 and expect target around 1685 in about 2 weeks of time frame.
Okay, let's get in Rahul Randeria's top stock ideas as well. And Rahul, what features on your radar?
Aman, I have 2 buy calls. One is in HPCL, where stock for quite some time, maybe 3-4 weeks, has been consolidating. And today we have seen a breakout of the congestion range. The momentum is building up in the stock. The oscillators are in the buy mode, so any correction should be used for a short term trading. Traders can buy at current market price, and if there is any intraday dip, can buy around 520. My positional target is 556 with a stop loss of 517 on the lower side. My second buy call is in NCC. The stock has been consolidating for a long period of time, and today we have seen some sort of price volume action on the positive bias. Momentum is building up in the stock. We feel that stock could give a decent rally in the coming days. Hence, traders can buy at current levels and on corrections to 80 rupees. My upside positional target is 90 with a stop loss of 78.
In fact, talking about some of the buzzing stocks, TD Power as well is one such case in point. And analysts have been expecting a steady 10 to 12% revenue growth from the stock. This has been gaining fast. Today it's up a good 7%, and yesterday as well this was a big winner. So revenue growth from the hydro segment is what analysts are expecting to actually instill the performance for TD Power, and they're expecting a robust growth in the gas engine generators as well for TD Power Systems. So let's chat about all these talking points with Nikhil Kumar, the joint MD at TD Power. He joins us on the show right now. Nikhil, hi, afternoon. How's your domestic business looking right now for power generation business, and what really is the visibility going forward?
So on the domestic side, what we have seen is that the market really peaked out for power generation equipment in 2011, and since then the market has actually gone into a very vicious downturn, not just for power generation equipment, but I think for capital goods in general, and especially I think within the capital goods sector, the power equipment manufacturers have been hit the hardest. What we have seen in the past 4 years is we've seen a dramatic drop-off of fresh investment. We've seen a dramatic drop-off in new power plants. We've also seen a dramatic drop-off in new capex activity in general from the market side. So for us, for our particular sector, for example, for captive power plants below, let's say 100 megawatt, we are seeing that the market size right now is around 30% of what it was in 2012. So that's almost, that's a very severe contraction, and so we have had a huge challenge in the past few years just to keep pace with this decline and to find alternative business somewhere else.
Let's also talk a little bit about what the strategy is from here on. How do you plan to grow your business?
So I think that eventually the domestic market will have to come back. There is a lot of, I would say, unsaturated demand in the country, and at some point of time the investments will have to come back. But in terms of strategy, what we have been doing over the past 3 years and what we'll continue to do for the next few years will be really to diversify our product range even further, and also diversify the geographies even further, so that we're not dependent on any single vertical, be it hydro or gas engines or steam turbines, or not even dependent on any single geography, be it Europe or North America or India. We really need to have a diversified geography in terms of market, so that when something goes up or when something goes down, there will be something else that goes up and compensates.
Yeah, well, this week your stock has spiked a good 22% itself. Tell us a little bit about what the order book pipeline is like and where your order book stands as of now.
So our order book has been reasonably good even in these difficult times. Our order book is looking fairly decent for next year. I can't disclose the exact numbers because we need to first announce it to the market, but I can only say the order book has been fairly good, and we're looking at a fairly strong, I would say fairly strong numbers next year, much better than before, and this is largely led through exports. So we're seeing that more than 70% of our business will be from outside India.
So things are sounding very optimistic. Your stock has been buzzing off late. Tell us, what does the order book currently stand at? And, as of now, are you negotiating any sort of orders?
Yes, so of course, there are a number of large things in the pipeline, and I really cannot disclose the actual names or the actual sizes of the business that we're talking about. But yeah, there are a number of opportunities we are pursuing, and we're closer to signing some of them versus the others, but we're actively trying to increase our capacity utilization, because we are still running at only 55% capacity utilization. So we have to get more business, and we are working all out to get more business.
Right. So will next 2 years be better than what we've already seen in the last 2 years?
Yeah, I think it's very, very difficult for any CEO to give even a 2-year outlook today. We can make projections, but we're seeing that the reality at the ground level has constantly been changing, is changing really rapidly, and it's very, very difficult for us to give projections that we can hold on to. So what I can say, at least for the next 12 months, is that we have a strong order book. And for the next 12 months, I have to see, because I'm not sure whether certain verticals where we got a lot of orders this year will be able to hold up next year. And certain verticals where we've not done so well this year, maybe they will boom next year. So there is a lot of uncertainty. Of course, we're covering all the sectors, all the verticals, but what actually happens at the ground level, there is a large degree of uncertainty today for any CEO to make projections.
Good to hear that. Thank you for taking time out and joining in, giving us a sense of what business is going to be like for TD Power, the kind of traction you're seeing, as well as the diversification of your products. This has been one stellar stock. In the last 3 days, gained 30% plus. Today, it's on fire as well. At the high point of the session, 7% at 230. But lots more stocks that are buzzing away in trade. Mubina is here to flag them off. And Mubina, run us through the list of the 3 movers and shakers.
Well, the first one is from the fertilizer space, naturally, because the entire pack has been gaining. We have RCF, which is in fact one of the top gainers. This is, of course, on the back of the fact that the cabinet is going to take up the new urea policy 2015. This will essentially enable companies to give out a higher subsidy to companies that are performing better, and it will be based on the import parity price, which is as well likely to be hiked. The government expects that the hike in IPP is, in a sense, will boost domestic production of urea. So a lot of these fertilizer stocks are actually gaining in trade. There's also Reliance Defense, which is of course a new F&O entrant. Remember, this is the debut it's making in the F&O space. Today is the very first day of its F&O trading. So that one as well is rallying in trade. In fact, if you look at the stock data for Reliance Defense, since the last 4 days we have seen a rally coming in for Reliance Defense. Volumes very strong at 3 times the last 5-day average, and it's currently trading at a 7-month high. And lastly, there's Jindal Steel. Remember, we had a board meeting yesterday wherein the board has essentially given the nod to issue preferential shares to the promoter entity. That's Opelina Investment. So the board is going to issue about 4.8 crore convertible warrants to this promoter entity, and this is of course going to help really boost the company's plans, which will of course involve reduction of debt.
Okay, thanks very much, Mubina, for highlighting all of those top movers and shakers in the session. We've got viewer queries as well lined up. Sridhar is with us from Hyderabad with a question coming in on EIL. He's joining in on the phone line. Welcome to Riding the Bull. Tell us about your holding in EIL.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you. I am holding EIL 145 of 400 shares.
Okay.
At the price of 145. It looks like going down from 170 high. I would like to know whether I can hold it or I can sell off.
Okay, we'll get that query answered for you. Rahul, come in on this one. EIL, he's just about not even breaking even on this investment. Given the kind of move that it's seen so far, what's the outlook?
Since December 2016, after the stock got X bonus, stock has been quietly under pressure, and every pullback was being sold off in the stock, and 160, 157 is the major supply area where many times the stock has tested those levels and again it drifted at the lower levels. So the stock has been in the consolidation phase. I feel that stock could remain in consolidation, maybe more 2 to 3 months, but at the lower levels 129 is a crucial support. So I would recommend to hold on to the stock, because after a rally from the levels of 100 rupees to 170, this is a phase where stock could consolidate for a time in price, and I feel that in the later next 1 or 2 quarters we could see an upside rally coming in the stock. So investors should hold with a stop loss of 129 on the closing basis.
Okay, an email then. Rakesh Gupta has written in. He says he's bought 600 shares of Everready at the price level of 280 bucks per share. Wants to know what he should do with his holding. Now, he's not told us how long he's willing to wait it out. But Rahul, Everready on the charts, both in the near term as well as a slightly longer term time horizon?
Yeah, the momentum in the stock seems to be positive. The undertone is bullish. The only thing is that many times the stock trades lackluster. The volumes are not there, but sometimes volumes there and stock sees a decent rally. The momentum seems to be quite positive for the long term also. So I feel investors should hold on with a stop loss of 225. Long term target would be 315. Maybe some sort of profit booking could be seen in the coming days. But yes, one should hold for the long term perspective with a stop loss of 225 on the downside.
Okay, that's the view coming in on how exactly you should be approaching the stock as well as some important levels to map out. Next up, we have a query coming in on Sun Pharma. We have Yogesh Kumar on the phone line with us from Hyderabad. Hi there, Yogesh. What's your query? Yogesh?
Yeah, I bought at 798 rupees Sun Pharma, 1000 shares in May 2016. I am waiting for around 950 level.
Okay.
Is it possible in another 3 months at least?
Okay, fingers crossed. Let's find out what Ruchit has to say on this one. Ruchit, he's hoping for a target of about 1,000 rupees in the next 6 months. He's bleeding bad on this investment. Do you think that it's achievable? What should he watch out for?
Yeah, firstly, coming onto the pharma sector as a whole, post March 2015, that is almost last couple of years, we have not seen any great movement in the pharma sector. The low top, low bottom formation is now behind us, at least to say in the Sun Pharma as well. The low top, low bottom formation is behind us, and the stock is now have gone into a long consolidation phase. So at least in short term, we are not expecting any major outperformance coming in from the pharma sector, but it's expected to remain range bound only. The range for near term, at least for next 2 to 3 months, would be somewhere 660 on the lower side and 730 on the higher side. Only if 730 is crossed, then he can expect a momentum up to 850 in next 6 months time frame. But we are not expecting any major move beyond those levels. The pharma sector as a whole, I think, would go into consolidation phase now after that low top, low bottom phase which is there behind us. So I think my advice to him would be to hold on to the long portions, but we are not expecting any movement up to 1,000 rupees, but at least he can expect 850 or so in next 6 months.
Okay, both of you, thanks much for taking the time out and helping our viewers as well with some of their queries, and of course giving us some trading strategies as well. Quick break then on that note. When we come back, more on the markets.